Tommy and the Jellybean Forest. Once upon a time, in the small town of Sunnyside, there lived a curious little boy named Tommy. Tommy was 7 years old, with a mop of messy brown hair, sparkling blue eyes, and an imagination as wild as the wind. He loved adventure, and every day he would set out to discover something new in his world, whether it was the shape of a cloud or the secret hiding place of a ladybug beneath a leaf. One bright and breezy afternoon, Tommy was playing in his backyard, pretending he was a brave explorer searching for hidden treasures. His trusty backpack, filled with snacks, a magnifying glass, and his favorite red notebook, was slung over his shoulder. He tiptoed through the tall grass, humming a cheerful tune, when suddenly he noticed something unusual glimmering at the edge of the garden. It was a tiny, colourful pebble, shining like a rainbow in the sunlight. Tommy knelt down, picked up the pebble, and turned it over in his hand. It wasn't a pebble at all. It was a jelly bean, striped with red, blue, yellow, and green. He blinked, puzzled. Jelly beans didn't grow in gardens, or did they? He looked up and noticed a faint trail of jelly beans leading from the garden gate into the thick woods behind his house. His heart thumped with excitement. Where could they lead? Only one way to find out. Tommy zipped up his backpack, made sure his shoelaces were tied tight, and set off along the jellybean path, each step filling him with wonder and curiosity. The woods grew thicker as Tommy followed the trail. The sunlight danced through the leaves, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers. Every few steps, Tommy would spot another jellybean, a sparkling orange one here, a shiny purple one there. He collected them carefully, tucking them into a small pouch in his backpack. After a while, the trees parted, and Tommy gasped in amazement. Before him stretched a magical forest, unlike anything he'd ever seen. The tall trees had trunks made of candy canes. Their branches hung low with lollipops and licorice vines. The grass was sprinkled with gumdrops, and the air shimmered with the smell of sugar and fruit. And everywhere, jelly beans grew, on bushes, on trees, even on the ground, like colourful pebbles. Tommy couldn't believe his eyes. He had discovered the Jellybean Forest. He wandered into the forest, his shoes crunching on the soft, sugary grass. He reached out and plucked a bright blue jelly bean from a nearby bush. It tasted like blueberries and sunshine, sweet and delicious. As he munched, he heard a rustle in the bushes. Out popped a tiny, fluffy creature with big ears and a nose as pink as cotton candy. It wore a vest made of gum wrappers and had a smile as wide as the moon. "Hello," said the creature. "Welcome to the Jellybean Forest. My name's Pip. Who are you?" Tommy grinned. "I'm Tommy. I followed the Jellybean trail from my house." Pip's eyes sparkled. "Oh, you're lucky. Not everyone finds the way to our magical forest. Would you like to meet my friends?" Tommy nodded eagerly, and Pip led the way through the candy trees. They passed marshmallow mushrooms, chocolate chip rocks, and rivers flowing with sparkling lemonade. Soon, they reached a clearing where a group of friendly forest creatures had gathered for a jellybean feast. There were squirrels with caramel tails, bunnies with marshmallow paws, and birds that sang sweet songs as they nibbled on jelly beans. Pip introduced Tommy to the others, and everyone welcomed him with cheers and laughter. They invited him to join their games: jellybean hopscotch, licorice rope jumping, and gumdrop stacking. Tommy laughed and played, making new friends and discovering new flavours of jelly beans he'd never tasted before. Kiwi lime, bubblegum blast, and even a mysterious flavour that tasted like giggles. As the afternoon sun dipped lower in the sky, Pip tugged gently on Tommy's sleeve. "Tommy, there's something special we do here every evening. Would you like to help us?" Tommy nodded, his eyes wide with curiosity. Pip led him and the other creatures to the heart of the forest, where the oldest, tallest tree stood. Its trunk was wrapped in stripes of caramel and chocolate, and its branches sparkled with jelly beans of every colour. "We call this the wish tree," Pip explained. "Every night we pick a jelly bean, make a wish, and plant it in the ground. That's how our forest grows and stays magical. Tommy chose a bright yellow jelly bean and held it tightly in his hand. He closed his eyes and made a wish from the bottom of his heart. I wish for more adventures and to always be brave and kind. He planted the jelly bean in the soft, sugary soil, and as he did, the tree glowed with a warm, gentle light. The other creatures cheered, and the air swirled with magic. As twilight settled over the Jellybean Forest, Pip walked Tommy back to the edge of the woods. "You can visit us anytime," Pip said. "Just follow the Jellybean Trail. And remember, the magic of the forest is always with you, as long as you believe." Tommy hugged Pip goodbye and made his way home, the last rays of sunshine guiding his path. When he reached his garden, he looked back, but the Jellybean Trail had vanished, as if it had never been there. Still, Tommy knew the forest was real. He could feel the magic in his pocket, where he found one last jelly bean, a gift from Pip, shimmering with every colour of the rainbow. That night, as Tommy snuggled into bed, he dreamed of the Jellybean Forest, of candy trees, laughter, and wishes come true. And he knew that every day could be an adventure, as long as he kept his heart open to magic and wonder. The next morning, Tommy woke up with a big smile on his face. He told his parents all about his adventure, but they just ruffled his hair and said, "What a wonderful imagination you have, Tommy." But Tommy knew the truth. He smiled to himself and slipped the rainbow jelly bean into his red notebook as a secret reminder of his magical journey. Days passed, and Tommy found himself looking for jelly beans wherever he went. Sometimes he'd find a sparkling jelly bean under his pillow, or in his backpack, or even tucked into his shoes. Each time, he knew it was a message from Pip and his friends, reminding him to keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep wishing. One rainy afternoon, when Tommy couldn't play outside, he sat by the window and drew pictures of the Jellybean Forest. He drew candy cane trees, marshmallow mushrooms, and all his new friends. He even drew the wish tree, with its glowing branches and magical jelly beans. As he coloured in his pictures, he heard a soft knock at his window. He turned and saw a tiny envelope taped to the glass. Inside was a note, written in curly, colourful letters. "Dear Tommy, thank you for bringing your wish and your kindness to our forest. The Jellybean Forest is brighter because of you. Come visit us again soon. Your friend Pip." Tommy grinned from ear to ear. He tucked the note into his red notebook, right next to the rainbow jelly bean. From that day on, Tommy became the bravest explorer in Sunnyside. He shared his stories of the Jellybean Forest with his friends at school, and together they searched for magical trails and wonderful adventures. Sometimes, when the sun was shining just right, or when the breeze smelled like jelly beans, Tommy would close his eyes and remember the magic of the forest, the laughter of his friends, and the warmth of the wish tree. He knew that as long as he believed, the Jellybean Forest would always be there, waiting for him, just beyond the edge of his imagination. And so Tommy's adventures continued, filled with jelly beans, laughter, and the magic of believing. And every night, before he went to sleep, Tommy would hold his secret jelly bean and make a wish, knowing that somewhere, in a magical forest not so far away, his friends were wishing too. And who knows, maybe, if you keep your eyes open and your heart full of wonder, you'll find a Jellybean Trail one day and discover a magical forest all your own. The end.